So I was rewatching some episodes of South Park recently, and I got back into the start of the show's Professor Chaos episodes. The first few times when the character Leopold Butters Stotch started dressing up as his supervillain alter ego, Professor Chaos, and tried terrorizing his town the only way a sheltered little kid knew how, doing stuff like stealing erasers from class, switching soups at a restaurant, and taking the head off a local statue. But while most of his schemes were and are completely ridiculous, what really got my curiosity was his plan to destroy the world in Season 6, Episode 6, titled, appropriately enough, Professor Chaos. In the episode, Butters announces during a baseball game his plans to destroy the world via a global flood, with the audience later finding out that the plan really meant just turning on the hose in his backyard and waiting for the water to build up. And while it may seem silly, it did get me thinking, exactly how long would it take for something like this to flood the world? And is it even possible in the first place? Well, let's take a look and find out. First things first, we need to figure out exactly how much water it would take to actually flood the world. Assuming that Butters meant covering all the land on Earth with water, then that means we need to find the volume of Earth both with and without the height of Mount Everest, since in order to cover all the land on Earth, the water level would have to be brought up bare minimum to the mountain's height of 29,029 feet, or 8,848 meters. Subtracting the volume of Earth plus Mount Everest from the volume of Earth without the additional height will end up giving us the total volume necessary to pull off this stunt. So let's use the formula for finding the volume of a sphere, V equals 4 over 3 times pi times the radius cubed. I know Earth isn't a perfect sphere, but just bear with me here. Using the Earth's radius of 3,959 miles, or 6,371 kilometers, we find that the volume of Earth from sea level is around 1.08 times 10 to the 12 cubic kilometers, while the volume of Earth plus Mount Everest is around 1.09 times 10 to the 12 cubic kilometers. Doing some math, we find that the volume of water needed to flood the Earth would be 4.52 times 10 to the 9 cubic kilometers. The thing is though, the total amount of water on, in, and above Earth, according to the United States Geological Survey, is only 1.386 times 10 to the 9 cubic kilometers. Since Butters could only use the amount of water currently on Earth in his plan, then that means flooding the Earth using the water currently on Earth isn't possible. And just in case you're wondering, no, the water in the polar ice caps wouldn't help at all. Even if somehow all the ice on Earth instantly melted and added to the result, it wouldn't exactly change much. National Geographic did a story back in 2013 covering that same idea, and they concluded that if the polar ice caps and all the ice on all the mountains in the world melted, sea levels would only rise about 216 feet, or 65 meters. Yeah, this wouldn't exactly be great news for anyone living on or near the coast, but still though, it's not like all the land on Earth is gonna suddenly submerge underwater. So of course this plan wouldn't work in real life, but then again, this is the same show that had an episode where world peace was achieved by painting a cow with red polka dots. The real world isn't exactly affecting much here. So what the hell, let's just pretend that Butters had a hose hooked up to an infinite supply of water and ignore all the limitations keeping this plan from happening. How long would it take to flood the world via a garden hose? Well, a standard garden hose usually varies in terms of the amount of water that comes out of it, the length of the hose, and the diameter of the hose, but let's assume that the one at the Stotch household is about, let's say 25 feet long, with a standard minimum water pressure of 40 psi and a diameter of 5/8 of an inch. Most standard US hoses come out to that diameter, and I can't imagine anybody in South Park would need a super long hose for their house since the yards on the show aren't all that big. Using an online calculator from Washington State University, we find that a hose with those specifications can generate 44 gallons of water per minute, or 1.66 times 10 to the negative 10 cubic kilometers per minute. Dividing the amount of water needed to cover the Earth, which we already established to be 4.52 times 10 to the 9 cubic kilometers, from the amount of water a hose can generate per minute, means that Butters' plan to flood the world would take 2.71 times 10 to the 19 minutes, which converted equals about 5.16 times 10 to the 13 years. That's over 51 quadrillion years. To put that into perspective, the age of the universe is currently estimated to be about 13.79 billion years old. That means for Butters to be able to flood the world with his backyard hose, he'd have to leave it on for over 3,000 times the age of the universe. I hope Professor Chaos doesn't have any other supervillain plans to do for a while, because he's going to be stuck with this one for a long time. Or, at least till the water company shuts his hose off. And there you have it, guys. That's how long it'd take Butters to flood the world with a garden hose. If you agreed with anything I said in this video, anything at all, or maybe you have your own calculations you want to point out, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to keep checking back here, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going with a double upload today. So, like I said, just keep looking out for that. Alright, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.